Marvel Studios is putting more effort into ensuring its movies and shows on Disney Plus and in theaters are more diverse. Studio president Kevin Feige has said many times in public that the MCU plans to grow in this area, and with the multiverse saga, the franchise is taking small steps in that direction. And what better way to implement this by adding a non-binary character to the franchise? This and more in today's video. There are even rumors that Marvel is looking to cast its first non-binary character in next year's Ironheart, which would give more roles to people from groups that haven't been shown much in the past. Now, the news is official because of the latest addition to the cast of this highly anticipated Disney Plus show. Deadline said that Shea Coulee will join the cast of Ironheart, which will come out in the fall of 2023 and is made by Marvel Studios. The star is the first non-binary actor to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe under Marvel Studios. They will appear in a series on Disney Plus. Coulee just won the most recent season of RuPaul's Drag Race, but their role in the show is still a secret. They responded to the news on Twitter by saying how excited they are to be part of this amazing project. Coulee also celebrated the news on Instagram, where they said that acting is something they've always wanted to do, even before they got into the drag world. After making a name for themselves on RuPaul's Drag Race, Ironheart will definitely be Shea Coulee's big break. They only have a couple of acting credits to their name so far. The big question now is, what role will they play? Especially with Dominique Thorne's main character being supported by such a strong cast. After working with Lucasfilm on Solo, a Star Wars story, Alden Ehrenreich will take on his first MCU project. In Ironheart, Anthony Ramos, who is part of In the Heights, is said to be making the first of many Marvel appearances. With Coulee adding their own skills to the mix, Ironheart should have the same high-quality cast that MCU fans have come to expect over the years. Ironheart will still be filmed over the next few months until it comes out in the fall of 2023, right between The Marvels in July and Blade in November. Even though we might not find out much more about Coulee's role or the rest of the cast before the end of the year, people are getting more and more excited to see how this MCU's newest young heroine turns into a power player. Well, Shea Coulee surely brings drag to the MCU. Shea Coulee didn't say much about their role in Ironheart from Marvel Studios, but they did say that when they join the MCU, they'll bring the world of drag with them. How that comes into play is still mostly a mystery, but they said that Marvel has been very helpful in putting their world in the spotlight, with the studio's new efforts to be more diverse. With Ironheart, the first non-binary actor is joining the franchise, which is a big step forward. Coulee hasn't been shy about how excited they are to join the MCU. For the fourth phase of the MCU, Marvel's focus on diversity is just about bringing in the next wave of comic book characters. So that this wave is as close to the comics as possible, it needs a cast with a lot of different kinds of people. This is just going in the same direction the comics have been going. Because of this push for diverse characters, beloved characters like Miles Morales and Ms. Marvel are possible. Simply put, the MCU seems more real when it has a wider range of characters. Also, it makes sure that everything doesn't always feel the same. Diversity is kind of cool. Since Ironheart doesn't come out for more than a year, there probably won't be much information about the new actor's role. Marvel is still doing everything it can to keep details secret, but just the casting should make people want to know more, especially since Riri Williams' role in the MCU will be more set in stone after her first appearance in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. The excitement does not end there. It seems that Marvel are diversifying more, and also including a trans actor in the same film. In Phase 4 of the MCU, Marvel's commitment to diversity is still going strong. The Marvel Studio has hired the first trans MCU actor in the franchise's 14-year history for the upcoming Ironheart series on Disney Plus. Deadline says that Marvel Studios has hired its first trans actor for a main role in the MCU. Trans actor Zoe Tarakas is set to play a major role in the upcoming Ironheart series, for which they were hired. Zach Barak is the only other trans actor who has been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe before, but in Far From Home, the actor played a small role as a classmate of Peter's who was rarely seen. After the Ironheart Ironheart show got a lot more diverse, Tarakas was added to the MCU. Like the comic book series, the characters in Ironheart are likely to be different. On Twitter, the actor was happy that they had been hired. He said, "I can't believe how happy I am. This is for trans guys, girls, and theys. So much love." This has already been seen in the people who have been hired before. For example, a recent announcement said that Shea Coulee would be Marvel's first non-binary actor to join the show. Ironheart will still have at least one straight white man for people who are prejudiced. Alden Ehrenreich, who plays the main bad guy in Star Wars, is expected to make his MCU debut in this show. In other related news, Spider-Man was supposed to appear in She-Hulk before legal issues blocked it. Fans of the MCU can be sure that the new She-Hulk show from Marvel will have a lot of crazy cameos, but it turns out that Spider-Man, another fan favorite, was also supposed to be in the movie. Yes, the web slinger was to make a fun appearance in the upcoming Disney Plus show. This request was, unfortunately, turned down. The head writer and creator of She-Hulk, Jessica Gao, says that the writers wanted to use a number of Marvel Comics characters. Many of them really wanted to use Spider-Man in the show, but they weren't allowed to. Gao says that the characters related to Spider-Man are also off the table. Even though it wasn't said outright, it seems that Spider-Man couldn't show up because Sony still owns the film rights to the character. There's a deal between Marvel Studios and Sony that lets Spider-Man show up in the MCU crossover movies, but it seems like they don't use him very often, which is why he didn't show up in She-Hulk. Universal still owns the rights to the Hulk, so She-Hulk is already a legal mess. Imagine if Spider-Man characters got involved. It wouldn't go well. Spider-Man might be the most well-known superhero Marvel has ever made, but She-Hulk doesn't need him to do well. The show already has cameos from the Abomination, a villain from the Incredible Hulk, and Daredevil, everyone's favorite blind lawyer. This will make sure that some MCU fans will like it. She-Hulk is also trying out a new type of comedy for the MCU, courtroom comedy. The movie brand usually does best when it tries out different types of movies, so She-Hulk could be one of the most exciting shows in this universe so far. That doesn't mean Spider-Man couldn't make the show fun, but it doesn't have to. On August 18th, fans will be able to watch She-Hulk on Disney Plus. On the streaming service, you can also watch Spider-Man movies made by Sony. Finally, Iron Man is returning to the MCU without Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark, who was the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, died in Avengers Endgame. This was sad, but it looks like the unstoppable Iron Man will be back, only without the famous Robert Downey Jr. For the next generation of MCU movies, it's said that Marvel wants to replace Robert Downey Jr. with a new, younger actor. The reports say that in Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars, Marvel plans to bring Iron Man back. If the rumors are true, Marvel won't be able to count on Downey Jr. to play the role again. Instead, they'll use a whole new actor. Downey Jr. is in his late 50s, so it makes sense for Marvel to find a new Iron Man. Also, we're still not sure what the role's all about. The report says that Marvel wants to be careful about who they hire. This is because they want to combine this Iron Man with the rest of the MCU to make a whole new series of movies. Even though no one has been chosen yet, Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things is said to be in the running. Even though losing Downey Jr. will be sad, it's important to remember that this is a new version of the character. After all, each universe, story, and character is different, right? What this version of Tony Stark will do is the biggest question on our minds. With this in mind, Marvel could be using a well-known plot. Also, doing it with a different version of Stark doesn't change what our main version of Stark did in Avengers Endgame. Still, it's a little on the sad side. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. Make sure to like and follow for more great news. Till next time, cheers!